Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Welcome back to the show. So listen up, we back in the game. Sweet believe we got a flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Right for the truth, on the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweet the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that STL Music, remember we did it, where we at. Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Never Rebroadcast, we unite. The best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio.
You are watching Sweep the League TV. Shout out to Rudy, Coach Gio, and Derek Irvin. Keep going, guys.
Shout out to SOTV and STL Music. I love the music, and hell yes, they paid me to say it. Commercials are not free, honey. Did you share our YouTube yet? Why not? Go watch Sweep the League TV right now and support my guys. Rudy, Coach Gio, Derek, and crew only talk sports and have fun. They don't have any bad vibes, just amazing fans. We love everyone.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, Rayne Fernandez.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
What is up? Welcome to a Thirsty Thursday edition of Sweep the League. Hey, man, college football is right around the corner. We're going to get into some more college football talk tonight. We're going to try to break down as much of the Big 12 and the Big 10 as we can. Tomorrow's show, we're going to be breaking down the other conferences as well, to include UTSA. And we're also going to give our final 12 predictions. So we're going to get all that in here before Friday or before Saturday, because there is a game on Saturday. Florida State is playing. So we'll get all that, all the questions, all the previews done here as soon as we can. Just an FYI, my connection for whatever reason on the stream is a little laggy. So if I go dark on it, Gio and Derek should still be on the show tonight. So don't worry, I'll come back on as soon as I can. So just giving everybody a heads up. So it's going to be myself. It's going to be Derek, the Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. Gio should be back on here in just a little bit. Again, we are breaking down the Big 12 and the Big 10 tonight for all you people out there. Let's bring on first the Hall of Famer himself, Derek Gervin.
Derek Gervin.
Derek,
how you doing?
How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm fine. I'm just coming from doing my own show, talking about some NBA and ABA tonight, and honoring the late, great Al Attles, who passed recently at the age of 87, former Golden State Warrior, the first Warrior head coach, champion head coach, I'll say. So just talking about that kind of stuff and covering a little bit about the history of the NBA and the ABA.
Yeah, you had
Alvin Mack? Alvin Mack?
Matt Calvin, former, he's an ABA legend, played with the Los Angeles Lakers as well for 5 years, had a fantastic career overall, and just a great human being, and one of the toughest smaller men I've ever seen. I got him up there with Calvin Murphy as far as just pure toughness.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Chris,
I think
there's a little
echo in there, Derek.
For your
It
side.
is?
For your side.
I don't know if it's the headphones.
I don't know if it's the headphones or not.
I can't. I don't know, man.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. I will.
Well, how about this way?
There. Yeah, there it goes. You're good right there, man. You're perfect right there.
Okay.
You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I still hear you fine.
Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah, so what's up? Chris Leha's in here, MCS General Contracting. What's good, fellas? How y'all doing this fine evening? We're doing fantastic. Derek was just talking about the As Good as It Gets show that he does on Facebook. Going over for some NBA talk. It's they had a recent passing a little while a few days ago. Al Adelson. I mean, it's the history of the NBA is great. It's fantastic. I love the NBA history. The other day we were talking about Anthony Edwards and his saying that there was no skilled players back in the day.
I'm laughing because we discussed that as well.
It's terrible, man, to think that a lot of these younger guys, and it's not even them playing around and having fun with it. It's just total disrespect for the people, the players in the past, and to say that they don't have skills or anything like that. It's just terrible, man. It is so terrible. One thing that is not terrible is MCS General Contracting, man. Chris Lehan, the boys, you know what? It's 105 plus every single day. Lehan, the boys are still out there now. We're wishing the best for them. You got to stay hydrated. I know Leha's the type of boss. Hey, man, if it's too hot, guys, we're just going to pack up and work on it the next day. He doesn't put anybody at risk for anything. And that kind of shows you the type of person Chris and the company MCS General Contracting is they take care of everybody. They take care of their own employees. They take care of their customers. They take care of everybody. That's why they are the #1 rated company when it comes to general contracting. That's MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Tim Gonzalez in here. Poodle, Blue Devils, of course, the Tar Heels. Still question about college sports. Yeah, we're doing college football today. It's fixed. Yeah, I had an echo a second ago. We got it fixed with Derek, so don't worry about it. Everything's good now. Let's bring on the coach himself because we got to get into some football preview talk here. And I guess the memo hit Derek that there's no more PTO for the rest of the week, so he's got to wait till next week to start using his PTO time.
Listen, Rudy, I have unlimited PTO. That was part of the deal. So
part of the NIL deal, yeah. What sucks is that the NIL deal that you have was you get your PTO and you get my PTO. I don't get time off. If I don't get paid if I take time off. You still get paid regardless, man. So Leha saying it's been a brutal week, but we got one more. Yeah, you got one more day, Leha. Just hang in there, man. I hang in there.
Not to make everyone feel jealous, but today it was about 75 degrees. I went outside with some shorts on, felt good, got a haircut. I wasn't sweating in different areas like I'm sure a lot of people were in San Antonio today.
I just did my 3-mile walk.
It's not that hot, Gio. It's 40 degrees Celsius. It's 40 degrees Celsius here. For those who don't know, that's 104 degrees. That's good weather.
Man, come on, man. Come on. Derek Irvin, let's talk about college football. We're going to talk about college football, Tim, I promise you. So
okay, Tim, what do you want to talk about? Utah? Arizona? What do you want to talk about? Who? Iowa State?
Well, we're going to get into it. We broke down, for those of y'all that want to know about the SEC breakdown, we had that show a few nights ago. So go back on our YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search @Sweep the League TV, get our SEC breakdown. People are still leaving comments on that. We're going to get into some of these comments here over the weekend. I'll be sure to answer a couple of them, maybe do a video about some of the comments. But tonight it's all about the Big 12 and it's all about the Big 10. Tomorrow we're going to cover some ACC. We're also going to cover the other conferences as well. Thank you, Gio. The other conferences as well. And we're also going to give our final 12 prediction because 12 teams make the college football playoffs. We're going to see who makes it and who doesn't. Real quick, Gio and Derek, there was a little bit of a kickback because someone was saying that Ole Miss is that team. They are that sleeper team, and they feel that they can get into the college football playoffs. And they were a team that we talked about in the SEC that could be a surprise team. So Ole Miss is one of those teams, and people are saying Tennessee is even a team that you've got to watch out for. So,
we talked about their schedule. It's a very manageable schedule where they got Furman, Middle Tennessee. They even got Wake Forest thrown in there. They open up SEC play with Kentucky, South Carolina. They got LSU and Oklahoma, and obviously Georgia, and what's left of Florida by the end of that time. But they got a very easy, manageable schedule to potentially get to the SEC championship game and to the postseason. So I I mean, honestly, Rudy, they got a good shot. As better shot as Georgia's with their schedule, Alabama, and Tennessee. I just think I don't know about them.
It's tough. It's tough, man. It's a tough thing when it comes to Tennessee. But nonetheless, we're gonna get into we got to get into some Big 12 talk. This first segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. As we mentioned, you know what? It's hot out there. You want to pull? You got to get a pull in San Antonio. Keep yourself cool. Chris Lehan and the boys are going to take care of you 100% of the time, all the time. MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. So, running down of Big 12. I came out and said I think the Big 12 is going to be it's going to be a fun conference. You're going to see probably a lot of shootouts. It's going to be great. I think you've got teams. Arizona is going to be one of the top teams for me. You've got the hype around Colorado because you got to get them hyped more than what they're going to win this year. 5 games, Gio, is what me and Derek are saying. 5 games on that. Kansas, I mean, they have the potential to come out. Kansas State's another one that has the potential to come out of that conference. You can't forget about Utah, UCF. A lot of these teams. Now, we talk about 3 teams coming out of the SEC. I have potentially 3 teams out of the Big 12 coming out of, for the college football playoffs. So let's dive right into it. Derek, what do you feel about the Big 12 overall? And give me some thoughts on it.
It's I did a little studying on that today. I still getting into my football mix because I've been covering so much basketball. There's Utah and there's everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's what I see. I think Arizona can possibly cause some problems, but I would even say Iowa State. Those will be my 3 teams right off the bat. Utah head and shoulders above everyone else. I think they're just too tough physically for one. I just don't think any team could deal with them. And then some of these other teams have got to get breaks, I believe, like Arizona, Iowa State, West Virginia. All those teams are going to be pretty good teams. But I'm looking at Utah, and I looked at even the quarterback with Cam Rising coming back. And the offensive line we know is very good. Kyle Whittingham, I believe, is going to be in the Coach of the Year running this year. And for me, it'll be Utah, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah, I think definitely for me, Utah's that number 1 team when it comes to the Big 12. I can't leave out Kansas State. Kansas State's the one that I think is going to be a tough out in the Big 12 for themselves. But above all and above everything, I do have Utah in there. The one player I look at is Jalen Daniels out of Kansas. He's so dynamic. I love the kid. I think he's going to be a Sunday quarterback eventually. He's going to take him a little while to get to maybe a starting spot in the NFL. But I do love the dual threat that he brings for Kansas. It gives them a shot every single week. So I can definitely see guaranteed 2 teams. I think Utah's 1. I think Kansas State might be the other for me. But what do you got, Derek?
Rudy, can Kansas defend?
No.
Outside the numbers and the hash marks is what I've been told to ask. I kind of did a little study. Can they defend?
It's tough, man. It is tough. The Big 12 is kind of like the non-defensive conference. Like Gio likes to say, it's just for Utah. Well, yeah, Utah
wants to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, Arizona's another team that's kind of on that border right now when it comes to being one of the better teams in the Big 12 to just being, as Gio likes to say, or just being Daniel Jones, just being mediocre, just enough to get by.
Are they 7-2 worthy? Are they capable of 7-2?
Arizona, not with. I'm going to bring up their schedule, but I don't think with the schedule. I mean, Noah Fafita is probably he's going to put up some. He's going to be good, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get him into the college football playoffs. I doubt that. What do you got, Gio?
I wanted to make a comment. The other day we were talking about Houston, and it didn't come to mind that Dan Holgerson was fired. So,
Wooly Fritz.
Yeah, he's not there anymore. I was under the impression that he was. That's how much college football I follow in the great city of Houston. But I just wanted to make that correction before we move forward. Houston's probably going to finish last, so I won't even talk much about them. But no, Utah is going to be the team to beat. As Derek says, Rising comes back ready. He was hurt some of last season. Utah averaged almost about 38 points a game. I mean, they have what it takes. If not for him going down, Rudy, maybe they go undefeated. I don't know. I mean, they have the potential to do that this season. All the pieces are in place, and the defense annually plays pretty well there. So it's no doubt in my mind that Utah's going to be the best team. Kansas State's interesting. You know, Avery Johnson did play a little bit last season. You know, Will Howard transfers to Ohio State. We don't know what to expect, Rudy. So for Kansas State right now, that's one of the question marks. They also have a new coordinator, actually both new coordinators on both sides of the football. So a lot of different moving parts for the Wildcats. You know, their defense does bring about, I think, 7-8 starters from what I was researching. So they definitely have something there. Kansas State, just a quarterback situation. But to me, Kansas, Rudy, Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal, who is he's a fast running back, to say the least. Yeah. They have pieces in place. Les Miles did a great job recruiting after he was at Kansas. He got the boot for, I'm not going to go into what happened there, but Kansas is set up pretty well. And Oklahoma State, Rudy, you know, they have always kind of been that team way. They just can't get over the hump. They can't beat Texas
40.
enough.
I'm
40.
a man.
I'm 40. And look, they did make the Big 12 championship game, if I'm not mistaken, Rudy, last season. So they have kind of that, what it takes. Can they just get over the hump? And I think they'll have a good opportunity to do so. So I think they return about 20 returning starters in total. Yeah. So definitely got a lot of leadership and veteran coming back to that team. So Oklahoma State's going to be in the pack. Arizona's interesting. I mean, Rudy, the year before Jed Fitch gets there, they were like 1-11.
Yeah.
And they were a 10-team win or 10 wins. So Fafita, they're going to make plays. They have a really good receiving core as well. They got a transfer at I think receiver, Conley the fifth from San Jose State when I was taking a look. Arizona's going to be a team. Now, as you get to the bottom, Rudy, West Virginia, Iowa State, Colorado. Listen, Colorado,
stop.
That's my super team right there.
Before you get to them, Gio, let me ask you a question before you get to Colorado. How come neither one of you guys mentioned Central Florida and they got two running backs? What's my man's name that ran for 1,400 yards last year? R.J. Harvey. And then they bring in Kenny Boone from Toledo. 1,400-yard runners. Do you guys even factor them in there?
No, I think UCF's going to be a team that's going to be floating around. They do get that Arkansas transfer quarterback in KJ Jefferson. Yeah. He's dynamic. He can move with his feet. And that backfield, of course, with is it R.J. Harvey?
Harvey, yeah.
Yeah, it's Harvey.
Almost about 1,500 yards last season. UCF's going to have an opportunity. I just think the problem is, Rudy, they're all going to be beating each other up. There's so much depth in the Big 12 that I just think UCF might just be a tick below some of the teams that we mentioned. But would I be surprised if Gus Malzahn gets that team to the Big 12 championship? No, I would not.
So the thing with UCF, and this is my thing, and again, I think they have really good position players at this position. But it's what are you going to get out of the wide receivers? Because you can only pound the ball so long and for so many times during a game before you're going to have to start throwing it. Now, with KJ Jefferson, definitely is a quarterback that can make things happen. But it's the receiving core. I want to see this receiving core go buck wild in some of these games, to help out KJ Jefferson in the running back situation. Here's a cool thing about this. The reason why I've considered this probably the better division or the better conference and the more exciting conference, none of these teams are projected to win more than 9 games. It's going to be a like Gio said, it's going to be a battle within this conference week in and week out. So that's why I was saying the possibility of getting 3 teams in from the Big 12 at the end, Utah, Kansas State, and I actually have possibly UCF as another team that could sneak in right in that 10 spot, maybe 11 spot when it comes to the college football playoffs. But I think they have a potential to get 3 teams in because I think 3 of them can get to 9 wins.
To add, Rudy, their defense was not very good last season.
Yeah.
Big issue stopping the run. They gave up about close to 30 points a game in the Big 12. That's not going to win a lot of – it's going to be a lot of shootouts, Rudy, as we talked about. Yeah. Nobody playing no defense in the Big 12 besides Texas. They did bring in a new defensive coordinator and Ted Ruff. We'll see how things kind of conspire on the field. But that might just be a team, maybe not yet, Derek, but they got the offensive players, and they're going to be in shootouts. A lot of these games are going to be shootouts. So essentially, who's going to have the ball last is going to win. And listen, Gus is a good play caller. We saw him at Auburn. He is a guy who can dial up plays. They're going to be able to score. Problem is, which defense is going to be less worse, if that makes sense?
That's a lot of. My surprise team is Iowa State. Hey, don't you guys think Iowa State is going to have a lot of motivation after losing those guys because of gambling last season?
I think so. I mean, I can see that definitely happening with Iowa State.
Iowa State's another team. I actually have them probably 7th or 8th. They started about 2-3, finished the season off 5-3 down the stretch. Iowa State's always a team. That's the thing about the Big 12. You got so many different teams who can do different things. They're all going to beat each other up. What 3 teams can survive? That's essentially going to be it. Who can score enough, and what defense? As I said earlier, Derek, which one can be just less bad? Because they're all going to be, in some cases, bad. Colorado, listen, that's my sleeper team.
I wouldn't even get into Colorado just yet.
That's my sleeper team. Dion.
Oh my God, settle down, man. Colorado? Come on,
They defensive line suspect, offensive lines we don't know yet.
Guess who's the defensive line coach?
Warren Sapp.
Yeah,
it's Warren Sapp, Derek.
But you don't have a Warren Sapp player on the defensive line.
If Warren was playing, I could understand, but they gonna have trouble. They were kind of weak in the trenches last year, offensively and defensively. And if Warren could pull off a miracle, then I could see it. But man, I don't know Colorado, man.
About 35 a game. It fits right into the narrative of the Big 12. Shador's is going to have to take it. That entire offense is going to have to take the step forward. Listen, we saw what they did to TCU, right?
Yeah.
We did play in the Big 12. And for what it's worth, by hook or crook, TCU did get to the national championship game. And
what was that score? 64-3 or something?
65-3, 7-0. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember, Derek. But they did beat a TCU team. I think we're going to see a better Colorado. How much better? I do hope that they can sustain. I'm kind of pulling for them this season because a lot of people are saying they're not going to be very good, like people on this show that I won't mention names.
Who said that?
Gio, you get them more than 6 wins this year?
I think they can get to 7 or 8 wins. I honestly,
they projected to win 5.5, so you give them 7 or 8.
If y'all listen and take the over, I just think the Dion effect is going to take charge in the Big 12. You can't tell me they can't beat. I mean,
I'm gonna get their schedule up. Right. You know what? Before we go to commercial break, let's get their schedule. Before we go to commercial break, we'll go to Colorado schedule here because I was thinking we were going to save them for last, but you know what? This is a hot topic. Everybody loves talking about how bad Colorado is. And Harry Austin, Amy Sweep the League. Hope all are cool. So I said, we are doing good, man. We are doing good. We'll get some of your comments here in just a little bit, but nonetheless, let's bring it up. So here's Colorado, man. They're starting off at North Dakota State. I would hope they could beat North Dakota State. I would hope so. Then it's Nebraska. They go to Nebraska. Okay. Kind of a toss-up. Colorado State really is not ever a give me, being that it's a rivalry game. So You saw the game last year between Colorado and Colorado State. That was played in Boulder. This one's what? Not there. It's on the road this time. Then it's Baylor, which, okay. Then it's UCF, Kansas State, Arizona. Those are 3 games that I do not expect them to win at all right there. That is a 3-game, possibly 4 out of 5 losses if the Colorado State game goes the way I'm thinking. Then it's Cincinnati, Texas Tech, and then the last 3 games is just brutal for them. So 6 wins it's there, but I still take them at 5. I got them at 5 wins.
Rudy, this is the beauty of college football. There's upsets all the time, right? We think Kansas State, number 18, their quarterback position, that's going to be obviously the question mark. We don't know what they have there. They might not be the number 18th ranked in the country at that present time. Utah, obviously, cream of the crop. Rudy, I could definitely see them get hot, and but as I said, the defense. That defense was so bad last year, and also they couldn't run the ball. Rudy, their offensive line was terrible.
Yeah, that's what the comments are saying. Harry's saying that Colorado is basically it's the offensive line is what he's saying that. There was nothing where the offensive line. They have now. They do have the talent. Shedeur Sanders is a talented quarterback, but I understand if you don't have an offensive line, it's tough to showcase your talent. Which, again, that's why I told you Shedeur Sanders transfer somewhere else so you can have a better shot at an NFL career. It doesn't work in Colorado. For me, it doesn't work in Colorado. Him playing for his dad.
Rudy, who's better, Shedeur and Hunter, or Fafita and Tyreek McMillan?
Oh, if you would have told me Fafita and Hunter, that duo would have been dominant. But
I'm gonna take Shedeur because I'm biased. But
you know what? I will say Fafita.
Travis is really good.
But
I've heard Fafita and McMillan touted as possibly the best quarterback and wide receiver duo in the country when it's all said and done.
I mean, I would not argue that. I will not argue with that at all. But I can also say that when it comes to Colorado, Travis Hunter, I mean, the athleticism. If Anthony Edwards says there's no athletic player in Colorado, in Colorado Buffaloes, and he's wrong because I mean he hasn't seen Travis Hunter play, obviously. But
is he playing on both sides of the ball this year, though, Rudy?
Should be playing both sides of the ball.
So I'm saying I worry about him still, like I did last year. But we cover it when you get off the break. But that makes me nervous.
It does, and I mean, going into the break, Colorado, Tim has 7 wins. Harry's saying, it's the offensive line that's going to be the big question for Colorado.
Terrible, I'm telling you.
But I mean,
listen, they have transfers coming in. They have some. Listen, I think they're going to be much improved. How improved, we'll see. The trenches is always the thing, right? When Deion took over, that's one spot that I knew. If you can't get both trenches, the offensive and defensive lines, we see what Georgia has, Alabama. What do? They try to own the line of scrimmage. Colorado wasn't there. Even though they beat TCU, that's going to be it. The offensive and defensive lines. They have enough talent on the receiving core and the secondary. If you don't do that, it's going to be long Saturdays, Derek. Long.
This Deion Swan song.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I would say it is Deion Swan song, man. It's going to be a tough out. The thing is that I'm not going to judge Colorado until week 3 when they go to Colorado State. And then I'll get a better idea after that game how they are. And then I'm going to say, okay, if they go 4-0 to start the season, they've got UCF. They've got to go to Central Florida. Now, we know traveling across country is not great in football terms. So,
and
I get that.
The fans will come out. I've been to that stadium in Orlando. It gets packed. So it's going to be an environment.
It is. So, I mean, that's where when adversity hits, can they come through and still, continue to win? That's the big thing. That's the same issue that we saw with Caleb at USC last year. When adversity hit, that's when the struggle started. I'm not saying anything negative. You can admit it, Gio. When adversity hit, he struggled.
When his adversity hit his defense every play.
He doesn't play defense, Gio. He doesn't play defense.
Well,
he's a quarterback.
He's a quarterback. The man can't score 100 points.
Well, no. But at the
scored a
same
lot of
time, he
points
can
last
only
season.
do what he can do on the offensive side. And there were times when he was overthrowing players. He was getting pissed off. He was doing this, doing that. He struggled when
But
adversity.
Rudy, his offensive line kind of took a backward step as the season
Huge
progressed.
step. That offensive line was not what they were the year before. And that defense, again, as I've stated, was absolutely atrocious. They're going to be better this year. They're going to be better this year, Derek, because it's a new year. They have to be better. They can't be better than they were last season.
They had him crying. It got so frustrated last season. He was in tears.
The man's crying, Rudy, because his defense is giving up old A's every second.
He's crying about a side of the ball he doesn't even play on.
Because he's putting so much pressure on this kid to go and succeed that Lincoln Riley doesn't even talk to his defense. He has no say in what's going on there.
And that's why Lincoln Riley ain't squat. Put it that way.
I'll say this. I think USC, I'm not going to say anything about them, but all I'm saying is Big Ten better be ready for USC and some of the other teams because they can put up a lot of points.
There we go. Big Ten's going to be coming up here in one of the last segments. We're going to talk a little bit about Big Ten because there's not a whole lot of teams in there that I think it's pretty like top heavy, and then you got the bottom part.
I don't know, Rudy. There's some talented teams.
No, I'm not saying they disrespect. There's teams that can make noise. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of top heavy teams where you're going to see more dominant performances than compared to a lot of the lower teams. So when we get back, we'll finish the Big 12 coverage. We'll start the Big 10 coverage. This will be our first commercial break. It's Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, the coach himself, trying to give as much love to other conferences that are not spelled SEC. And Rudy Campos Jr. What is it, Gio? What is it?
I'm going to give love to the bottom teams real quick. Baylor, Arizona State, BYU. Congratulations. You're going to finish towards the end, just like Cincinnati as well.
Rest in peace early from Coach Gio to all those teams. We'll be back here in just a minute. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Hey guys, are you ready for a flavor explosion? Look no further than La Cocina Taco Truck, serving up the best street tacos and quesadillas in New Braunfels. With a 5-star rating and rave reviews, they're not just a taco truck. They are a taste sensation. La Cocina staff is the best in town and pride themselves on making every customer feel like family. Whether you're feeding a crowd or just satisfying your own cravings, they've got you covered because no order is too big or too small for them there. Louis and his staff are all about customer satisfaction and they love their community. Don't worry, San Antonio friends. They're just a short trip away to New Braunfels. So why wait? Come visit La Cocina Taco Truck today and taste the difference for yourself. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, where every bite is a fiesta. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, the coach, Coach Gio, Rudy Campos Jr. We're back talking Big 12 college football preview right now. Again, if you want to hear the SEC college football preview, it was a couple of nights ago that we were doing that one. So Be sure to go over to our YouTube page, go to YouTube, search at Sweep the League TV, catch all of our videos there, including our SEC breakdown on you guys. So this next segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck, the best tacos, street tacos, quesadillas, everything. It's in New Braunfels, so it's a short drive to get you satisfied. Head out to La Cocina tonight. Tim Gonzalez asked a pretty good question here. Which Big 12 coach is on the hot seat? Is it too early to say Dion? Like being really for real?
Man, leave Dion alone, Rudy. Every chance you try to get after him.
I'm asking a serious question. Is it too early to say Deion Sanders? I mean, think about it. This is how I'm going to break it down for you. It's year 2, yes. If he has a 5-win year, look at everything that he did when he got there. Basically said, I don't need any of you guys. I got my own guys coming in. Didn't work out. Had a bunch of transfers out of the program, had a bunch of transfers into the program, hired big name people to be assistant coaches. It only gets him to 5 wins this year. He's got to be on the hot seat, man. I mean, you're really just going to basically have a Deion Sanders as a head coach, knowing you're just paying for his name. That's it.
Can I ask a question? How many people were in the stands before Deion got there, Derek?
Well, that's the question I was going to ask. That's why I don't think they would fire him. They would give him the opportunity to step down or move on to a better opportunity. I can't see them firing him. He's generated too much money. That's like the Indiana Fever having a bad season, and then all of a sudden they're going to get rid of Caitlin Clark. I just can't see it. He's generated way too much money for that program.
It's to Derek's point. Listen, all I know is they were 1 in the 10, 1 11, whatever. Or no, well, actually, I think they had 1 win, and they've gone winless before. So no one's in the stands here in Colorado. Listen, they've had some history. They've won a national championship back in the early 90s. So there's some history there. But just recently, over the last 20, I mean, they've done absolutely nothing. Deion comes in, they're selling tickets. I've looked at tickets. Not that I'm going to a game in Colorado, but they're pretty pricey up there in Boulder. And I don't see any scenario where they would fire him right now. Who's going to replace and come in and bring fans and recruits like that and transfer?
Gio, didn't they? And they had some good moments, right? Because Hunter got hurt. And that kind of set them back a little bit, right? And then what's the young man that ended up transferring that was having problems? A really good athlete.
I know who you're talking about. So
they dealt with some chemistry issues. I think that's the kind of stuff that hurts you more than talent or lack of talent. It's Travis Hunter getting hurt, and then that young man who was having problems with Deion and couldn't seem to work his way on the field because of attitude. I think those kind of things kind of hurt them. I'm still not high on Colorado, but they have some good moments.
But from checking their go ahead.
No, but from checking their schedule, they lost to number 11 Arizona 34-31. Lost to Stanford by 3. Lost to Oregon State by less than 7 points. Lost to UCLA by 8 points. I mean, this is a team who was actually very competitive. Now, obviously, the Oregon game got out of hand, but they lost by a touchdown against USC, lost to a touchdown against Utah. Look, you can't tell me that what they did last season in a conference playing pretty well, that they can't actually win those games that they came close last season.
Shador, though, Gio, Shador had some Daniel Jones moments now. You got to remember that, too. That's why they lost.
He's pressing. He's pressing, right? He wants to do too much. So I really hope he takes that next step. And I think he has a good opportunity, Derek, and a pretty good schedule to do so. Kansas is no juggernaut. Yeah, they're pretty talented, but I think they're going to surprise some people.
Yeah.
So the question being was hot seat. And when I said that I would put Deion on the hot seat, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get fired after the year, but it's got to be at least warm. If he doesn't have a good season, it's got to be warm. Going into next year, it's got to be kind of. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Tim's not saying who's going to get fired. The question was who's on the hot seat.
Well, probably the coach at Baylor. He's 9-16 in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Finish 3-9.
Dave Aranda.
Yeah.
100%. If that guy can't get it done this year, he should be gone halfway through the year if they have a horrible start. There's no doubt about that. But again, who takes the damn job? Art Briles screwed it up for everybody after that.
But why would he be on the hot seat when not a lot is expected from them anyway? If you look at their roster, you talk about the quarterback, Daquan Finn as a quarterback. Other than him, I mean, what's their good points?
How can you fire
a coach? They don't really have the prospects aren't really great looking for them anyway going into the year. So if they could pull off an upset or two, he saves his job, doesn't he?
Possibly, and that's a good. There are going to be upsets. There are going to be upsets, Rudy. Arizona State might beat UCF. Like, it's bound to happen in that conference.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it's
going to be a lot of upsets.
I think there's going to be a good, decent amount of upsets, which means if the top teams keep losing, then they may just get probably one team, Rudy, not 3.
Let me bring this up. I'm going to bring this up because we're talking about Baylor right now, and Baylor being that Durant is probably in the hot seat. Let's just take a look. Let me get the comment off so we can kind of look at here right here. Let's see. There we go. So, I mean, obviously they start off against Tarleton State. I mean, okay, that we've seen Appalachian State beat a certain team up north. Sorry, Derek, I don't mean to bring that up.
They also should have beat North Carolina the last 2 years, but I could talk about it another day.
That'll be another. That's tomorrow, the ACC. So check it. Settle down, Gio. Then they have week 2 it's against Utah and it's at Utah. That's a loss for Baylor. They should be 1-1. Then they play Air Force, Colorado, BYU, Iowa State. Out of those 4 games, if he goes 1-3, 0-4, that guy's gone. Aranda's got to be gone.
He's going 1-3. Rudy, he's going 1-3.
If he goes 1-3 in those 4, he's got to be gone. We're pretty much predicting he's going to go 1-3, 0-4 on those 4 games. But at that point, you're not letting him back on the plane after Iowa State. You're leaving him in Iowa State. I mean, hey, Bubba, you get your own way home.
I don't think they can be Air Force.
That's what I said. 1-3.
Air Force does run the ball.
Maybe
they do run the ball pretty well. So never mind. I'm gonna take. I don't think that's a given. I actually think about it. They're probably gonna lose the Air Force.
Wouldn't Baylor be projected to be in the bottom 4 with Arizona and Houston and possibly Cincinnati? Those teams.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I don't have Arizona in the bottom 4.
Oh no, I think he means Arizona State.
Arizona State.
Oh, Arizona State.
No, Arizona State.
Wait a minute, not Arizona.
No, Arizona State.
Honestly, Baylor for me, even though the schedule is not like ridiculously hard, I would probably put him bottom 3, maybe bottom 2.
So that's going into the year, right? So why would the coach be on the hot seat if you're already expecting them to basically have a season that's a failure? Anything that he can do could only raise his stock.
True.
I think he's a bridge coach. They might go after a big name next season. Who is going to want to go into that?
Name. Pete Carroll? I mean, who in the hell is going to want to?
No, I don't
think.
Pete
What's wrong with that? With Pete? No. With Pete? Wow. Would Pete come to Texas and go? Would Pete Carroll go to Baylor?
They have the money. They have the money.
If they can get Pete Carroll, who can listen, for what it's worth in college, I know it's been a while, but that man could coach. He can recruit too. So if they can get a Pete Carroll in there just for at least a few years to get that program going, if I'm Baylor, hey, I throw all my money at that guy.
100%. I would say so.
When he comes is the question because it seems like he has that fire again, and he wants to come. We could see he was kind of itchy to come back to college, but would he come? Would that be a different scenario to come to Baylor? That'd be something. I don't know. Is that a big enough school for him?
I think so.
I think Baylor would fit Pete. I mean, listen, what's Pete doing right now anyway? He's probably in his mansion up there in Washington State somewhere and just kind of relaxing, right? I think. And listen, he didn't want to leave Seattle. Like, he did not want to leave.
No, he didn't.
So he's the guy that looks like he wants to itch to coach. If I'm Baylor, you have to at least throw your hat to think, hey, is it possible that this guy could come? Because just for a few years, it's the Deion effect, Derek. No, not to that extent, but you bring in a former coach at college, I think it would be a match made in heaven for a program that right now that's going through the slums, and they're going to be bad pretty sure again.
Yeah, I can see him coming. Just tell him before he comes, make sure you run the ball into the end zone at the end of the game. Yeah.
Don't want to make that same mistake happen again. That's for damn sure, man. But this is what I would think if Pete Carroll was actually a name that could be thrown into Baylor, just for example. I think Pete takes it because it gets him that 1 foot back into college football, and then he can get into a bigger program. So I say if that's a name that gets thrown out there, definitely one. I mean, Jeff Traylor was thrown in there the other night about Baylor, but I just can't see that.
Gio, check and see, because I thought Pete came back to college already to help a team this year. Check on that and see, because I thought he'd already come back to help.
He could be a consultant. I mean, I wouldn't.
He went to USC to teach.
Yeah, so I know he had got the itch again. So yeah.
I actually wouldn't mind Pete in college. I don't think NFL is. I don't know. I don't think that's.
Pete Carroll's a good NFL coach. He's a great college coach.
That's what I'm saying.
College, man.
College would be, I think, and it's weird to say at his point of his age, I think I would like to see him in college. He's a youthful guy. He's moving around. He's running during practice. Pete Carroll at Baylor could be a
who motivated him, Gio? Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Jim's gone. I could see Pete. Yeah, just think that he has a chance to come back in. I'd love to see him compete with some of these guys, man. Supposed to be these top coaches. Bring Pete Carroll back to college football. That's where he belongs.
I agree with that, man. I do agree with that. Pete Carroll does belong in college football. Pete's one of the few guys in college and pro period, football, basketball, whatever, to make the transition and to be successful at both ends. I mean, Larry Brown in the NBA, very won national championship, also NBA title. Pete Carroll, Super Bowl winner, national titles in college. I mean, there's not many coaches that can go into a pro game coming off of a college game and be successful. So it's something that I think Pete might be able to get done. I mean, he went back to teach at USC. Who knows? Maybe he's waiting for that job to open up.
He went for that. You know why he went? So he could be back in the spotlight, man.
How about Mel Tucker to Baylor?
Don't do that to me, man. After the when I was at Michigan State, that's another story for another show.
Mel.
He's really not a bad coach, though.
No, he's not.
He just got to learn how to behave.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We didn't get a final resolution yet to that case, right? I think that's still ongoing. Pretty sure.
That is still ongoing, man. Pete Carroll coached the Aggies, just saying. I mean, again, Pete can get one of these teams and make a huge difference. Before we go to our last commercial break here, Derek, I'm going to let this hit you here. It says, do you think Redick, that's NBA talk, Redick will help the Lakers? He has no experience in the NBA, but he's very smart. Give me a quick couple seconds here on JJ Redick. Do you think he's going to really make a difference for the Los Angeles Lakers?
That's a tough question because I don't know. I would think that with LeBron, I'm sure they had to welcome him in, LeBron and AD. So, yeah, I think he's going to help the team as long as he does it the right way. Bronny's going to probably end up having to spend time in the G League. Hopefully they don't rush Dalton Connect too quickly, but they're going to have to play him. And if they get him into the mix, yeah, I think he's going to have a good year. I think after watching AD and LeBron in the Olympics, AD stayed healthy pretty much all of last season. LeBron was healthy. So, yeah, I think he's going to make them a better team than they were. I think he'll make some better in-game adjustments than Darvin Ham made, who really didn't make any. And I think he'll be a player's coach. So I'm going to say yes.
All right, so he could have some impact there. We'll see how it goes for JJ Redick pretty soon here in the NBA season as training camp for NBA kicks off in September, I believe already. So then you got preseason coming in October. So NBA
you got you got Denver and the Celtics. If I'm going off the top of my head, they start on the 25th of September, and then the other teams, all the other 30 teams, 28 teams, will start on the 1st of October.
Yeah,
Derek,
so it takes a while.
I just want to. I'm worried about football right now, man. No more basketball for a while.
Well, let's get it started. How about the Texas Longhorns?
Oh man, we got again real quick SEC breakdown. We did that this past couple of days ago. Go to our YouTube page at Sweep the League TV. Check out our SEC breakdown. We broke down the Big 12. When we get back, we're going to break down a little bit of the Big 10 here. Then again, tomorrow we're going to break down the ACC, which isn't too much of a breakdown. There's really just one team to worry about in the ACC. We're also going to get into some of these other divisions here, as well as UTSAs, because one of those teams in that conference has a really good possibility to make the final 12. Could it be UTSA? Could it be Memphis?
Memphis, this one. You see that right there.
It's that one right there. Birds up, man. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And then also tomorrow, get your 12 picks in, because we're going to give you our college football playoff top 12. Who's going to finish in the top 12? Who's going to make it to the final 12? We're going to give you all that info tomorrow as college football kicks off on Saturday. Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, Coach Gio, looking at his phone because he's trying to figure out, can Texas really kick Georgia's butt? I think so.
I'm looking at it because I'm about to win money again, Rudy.
Oh, appreciate the picks. You must not have my phone number, because I just never get those winning picks from you at all.
I keep forgetting to send those picks to you, Rudy.
Yeah, you send them to me after you win and cash out. That's when I get them.
How are you going to win, Gio? You telling him that you're going for Georgia, but you're really betting on Texas?
Oh, no. That's not what I'm talking about, Derek. I'm talking about fan. That won't come out of my mouth. Go Dogs. I'm also a casual Indiana Hoosier fan because
no doubt about
my girlfriend,
that.
But you know what? I still believe the red.
You've got to keep the better half happy. And that's the reason why I fake being a Cowboy fan, because if not, I'll be divorced, and I don't want to go through that, man. So
actually, everyone, go to Rudy's Facebook. He has a photo taken right in front of the Dallas Cowboys star.
I do.
Really?
I actually do.
Did you get tackled?
No, I didn't. I was burning a little bit as if I was walking into church or something, but I mean, I was all right. I was okay. It was with my daughter, Gio.
No, I know.
Golly.
No. Well, look, listen. You will not see me in San Francisco holding a San Francisco, I don't know, thing, or even a Seahawks. I did go to a Seahawks game, which was nice, but.
Okay, well, I mean, you don't have to do anything, man. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
So you're saying Vernon Davis will be back in San Francisco before you, huh?
Yes, that's right.
Jeez, man. It's Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, Coach Gio, Rudy Collins. We get back, we'll break down a little bit of the Big 10 when we'll be done for the evening here again. That's Sweep the League. It's a Thirsty Thursday edition. We're getting you ready for Friday and the weekend. We'll be back. Howdy from Texas. You've got to be tired of the sizzling electric bills and the Texas heat, right? Well, partner, we've got the solution for you. Introducing Castro & Son Solar, harnessing the power of the sun to save you some serious cash. Their top-notch solar panels will have you soaking up the savings in no time. Imagine lower electric bills, a reduced carbon footprint, and the satisfaction of going green. Their expert team will take care of everything from installation to maintenance. We're talking hassle-free, worry-free, and stress-free solar solutions. So why wait? Join the solar revolution with Castro & Son Solar. Let the Texas sun shine bright and your savings shine even brighter. Castro & Son Solar, empowering your home one sunbeam at a time. Call them today and let's get this solar party started. Spurs fans, are you ready to stay ahead of the game of the San Antonio Spurs with the best coverage in the business? Tune in to Locked On Spurs, the daily podcast that brings you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and all the latest news and updates for your silver and black. Join Jeff Garcia, the most informative and entertaining host in the game, as he breaks down all Spurs news and notes, interviews the biggest names, and keeps you locked into all things Spurs. From Monday to Friday, get ready to start your day with the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out on the expert opinions, the hot takes, and the can't-miss guests. Make sure you're locked in with Locked On Spurs. Subscribe to their YouTube channel now and stay ahead of the game all season long. Locked On Spurs. It's the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out. Can you imagine a world where nature meets wellness, where every sip you take nourishes your body and soul? Introducing Special Leaf Tea, a line of 100% natural, ready-to-drink iced teas crafted to boost your immunity and energy. With 4 unique flavors to choose from, as in hibiscus blueberry, tangerine ginger, pomegranate blueberry, or the original, you can indulge in the perfect blend of taste and nutrition. Their teas are carefully crafted with 2 times the antioxidants and no added sugar. They're known to help with blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, weight management, and even provide natural energy without caffeine. Join the movement towards natural wellness. Order now at www.specialleaf.com and start sipping your way to a healthier, happier you. Special Leaf Tea. Nature in every sip. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Pops the mastermind, got the team what we need. 5 rings deep, we the dynasty kings from the Alamo Dome.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Last segment coming up. It's going to be brought to you by MCS General Contracting, La Cocina Taco Truck, also Special Leaf Tea and Castro and Son Solar. It's Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. It's the Coach Gio, and it's Rudy Campos Jr. on this Thirsty Thursday edition. Hey, go to our YouTube page. Just go to YouTube, search at Sweep the League TV, be a subscriber. We got an Amazon gift card giveaway coming up here pretty soon, so be sure you're a subscriber so you can be a part of that giveaway. Before we move on to Big Ten, we'll make that real quick here. Derek, for Big 12, you said you got 2 teams making it into the college football playoffs right now?
Me? No, I have 3.
3? Which 3 do you got going in?
Utah, Iowa State, and Arizona.
Utah, Iowa State, Arizona. Gio,
you love Iowa. I'm going to go with Utah, and I'm going to go with Kansas. Just 2 teams.
You got 2. Okay, for me, I've got Utah, I've got Kansas State, and the last one is a toss-up. I either have Arizona or UCF. I'm gonna give the slight edge, I think, to Arizona.
You don't think Kansas can with Jalen Daniels there and
health, man? It's health. If he can stay healthy, gives him an opportunity like nobody else.
So neither one of you are picking Arizona to be the second best team in that conference.
They have the possibility, they do, but I think they're the third for me.
Entering a new conference is always kind of tricky.
It's hard, but I wouldn't put it past them being top 3 for sure. Top 2, I wouldn't put it past them. I think Noah there, Fafita he's legit. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in college football. So I can definitely get behind that. There's no doubt about it.
In the Heisman conversation.
Yeah, I would say so. I think where would he be in the Heisman ranking? I think Carson Beck is
4th
probably
or 5th, but I'm just saying, just to be in there, me and your team is doing really good things. I'm not saying he's going to be one of the 2 finalists, the 2 guys, but he'll be in there. I really believe that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I would put him in the Heisman race. I know Carson Beck is probably 1.
McCures.
Yeah, I would say him. Who else would it probably be? You know what? I would probably put him at 4 right now. I would put Noah Fafita at 4. I think that would probably, because I think Jalen is another one that has an opportunity to be up there if he stays healthy. I think he could put up a whole lot of numbers. So definitely, I would put him at 4. I think, when it comes to, Big 12 Heisman, even Heisman in general, I think he's going to be up there as well. So yeah, those are our picks for the Big 12 going into college football playoffs. We're going to real quick run down the Big 10 tomorrow. We're going to cover ACC. Tim said there's like 6 or 7 teams in the ACC that have a legit shot. I don't see it, but I mean, we'll get to that tomorrow, as well as some of the other conferences. We'll give you our final 12 as well. But for the Big 10 going in, really, it's pretty much the West Coast coming over to the East Coast on some of these teams. The 2 teams you really got to worry about is Oregon and Ohio State. For me, those are my top 2 teams. I think I've got Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, but
that's what's up.
Hit me up in a few weeks and I'll let you know. What's up?
Why did they do Colorado a favor, man? Because I wanted to see Oregon this year. I wanted to see them really come out and smack Colorado around after what kind of went down last year with the coaching situation. I'm just saying, man, I was really excited this year to see. I wanted to see him get one more chance to step on Deion, man. That kind of broke my heart.
Dude, first of all, Dan Lanning, listen, that's so becoming of you. You had the better team. I mean, it was like him going in saying, "Oh, people have been talking. We don't want to talk. We're gonna play." Dude, you had a better team. Come on, hoorah. Who cares? I mean, so what? You beat a Colorado team. I get it. The hype and all that.
Bear, though. But Gio, you don't poke the bear. Is that true?
Yeah, you don't.
That's true. But listen, and also Dan Lanning he poked at Georgia too in the offseason. Look, Dan Lanning, I hope you don't play Georgia this year, because you know what was going to happen again.
Oh, what?
Wow.
That beat down. That beat down with
you would take years ago. Oh no, we got it. You would take Georgia over Oregon.
He'll take Georgia over everybody,
especially Oregon.
Your team gonna at least lose 2 games. I'm trying to be nice, not say
because
3.
We're playing road teams, Derek. We're actually playing road teams. Not that Oregon's not playing road teams, but
so we've got so basically Oregon and Ohio State 1, 2. Who's
Penn State? Penn State.
Penn State is there.
Penn State's schedule is very favorable. Yeah. That to me is going to be a team that is probably going to get into the play. This conference may get 4 teams in the postseason.
Washington might be another one that you can kind of see there.
I think the coverage is bare, though.
What about my team? Are we going to take a little backward step?
Man, it's tough to say with Michigan because you're coming off of a national title, but you lost so much from the coaching staff to the players. It's gonna take a little while for me to see where it's going, and this is what it's gonna take, Derek. For me, it's gonna be week 2 at Texas against Texas in Ann Arbor. If they beat the Longhorns, then I would say okay, because then after that you've got Arkansas State, you've got USC, which I don't buy the USC hype still. Minnesota got Washington. Now Minnesota's a tough game. Always is a tough game. Minnesota plays tough a lot of times. Then you go to Washington, so traveling across country, like we said, Illinois, Michigan State. Then you have.
But what if we lose to, say we lose to Oregon, but it's very respectable because, good enough to get us in the tournament if we were to be on the bubble. Because sometimes it's not always beating those best teams. It's just being very, very competitive and taking them down to the wire. What if that would have happened?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I mean, and I'm going to ask you and Gio this. If Michigan beats Texas and their only 2 losses are Oregon and Ohio State, how bad is that for Michigan? They'll get in, but where do you rank them out of the 12? Does that still put them within the top 6?
Well, that's what worries me. I'm kind of nervous this year about us cracking the top 8.
Yeah. The schedule's favorable. Very favorable.
It's
but
favorable,
it's a
but
new team, a new system.
that's what I was going to say. Now they do have their strength is on defense. I mean, they got a lot of guys, but their offense, a lot of offensive linemen left. Blake's gone. The quarterback situation, you know, Derek, they do have Alex Orji, I think, or Ori or something like that. He's coming in with limited reps. Michigan could be potentially at the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised, Derek, if they're outside the top 25.
That's what and it's hard for me to argue because I'm trying to be on the like, man, it's my team, but I have to be honest. I'm a little worried. Hell, UTSA might finish above Michigan.
The rank, yeah. I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
Penn State, I think Penn State has, again, another favorable schedule. Iowa can't score, but they can always play defense. So that's a team. I'm going to throw a team out there just because, as I said earlier, my girlfriend loves the Indiana Hoosiers. Have a new coach, Kirk Cignetti. He comes over from James Madison. He's been talking a lot of talk this offseason.
He has.
Indiana's picked to finish second to last, along with Indiana school and Purdue. I do think Indiana can surprise some people, so I'm going to give them some love. But right now, Rudy, as we said, it's Oregon, it's Ohio State. To me, those are the top two teams.
Yeah.
Penn State could be that third team. They got a lot of guys coming back. It's just Michigan is going to be. It's going to be a very, very interesting season. I do like that they hired former defensive coordinator of the Giants, Wink Martindale, is now running the defense there. It has a very aggressive defense. So I think the defense will be fine. It's just, can they score? Is it going to be a ground and pound, 3 yards of dust, right, Derek? You know.
See, that's what I'm worried about. Our offense. I'm not worried about the defense. I'm worried about the offense, but I'm worried about the offense big time. It's not every day you have to replace a J.J. McCarthy. And then you lose Harbaugh as well. So I'm really nervous. And I'm hoping we end up in the top 25, but, man, I don't know.
I'm going to give some to USC, though, Rudy. They can put up a lot of points.
Settle down.
They can put up.
See, and that's another one. Gio, can we beat USC or Iowa? Is Iowa on our? Can we beat? Is Iowa going to be better than us?
Iowa has to be better on offense. It's just the numbers will tell you they have to improve after what. But they play really good defense. And USC, listen, for what it's worth, wherever Lincoln Riley has been, they can put up points.
Yeah. So Michigan's schedule, real quick. This is what it is. It's Fresno State, Texas. And they're in Ann Arbor, so that's a benefit for Michigan there. Arkansas State, USC, Minnesota, Washington, Illinois, Michigan State, Oregon, Indiana, Northwestern, Ohio State. They don't play Iowa at all. So
no, I'm just saying they're going to be better than us overall.
Well, and that's what I was saying. The schedule, it's not murderer's row for Michigan per se. It's like if they get through Texas, then they can kind of work the kinks out on a lot of these other teams until they get to Oregon. That's why I said,
Rudy,
what's up?
If we beat Texas, that means we're going to finish in the top 10.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they get through Texas,
we're not going to beat Texas. And I hate to say that, but come on.
Come on, Derek. Have some faith for your team, Derek. Come on.
No, what I'm telling you guys is I have faith in Michigan, but I think you guys are selling Texas a little short as far as going towards being possibly the best team in the country.
No, I've had Texas winning the national championship. I've had them from the beginning.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is if Texas goes into Ann Arbor, I know, Joe, but if Texas goes into Ann Arbor and lays an egg is what I'm saying. If Michigan beat Texas.
105,000 going to be cheering them on, man. I mean that gives them
Eric,
it's a big if. You know what? That's an avalanche for college football if Texas loses to Michigan in week 2, because then you start talking about Sarkisian being on the hot seat. You lost that game. That is a big game, a massive game. So that's why I said if Michigan gets through week 2 and wins against Texas, then it's like that 3 and the Oregon and Ohio State game is kind of like, okay, now it makes it a little bit interesting in the Big Ten. Go ahead,
I
man.
don't want to be ugly, man, and I don't like to get personal, but if Texas were to lose to Michigan, Sarkisian has had some problems in the past.
Yeah.
And and I think you guys might know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
yeah, it's
they better not lose to Michigan, because if they lose to Michigan, he's automatically on the hot seat.
I'm gonna try my hardest, Derek, to go to that. Michigan's gonna be at IU the week after they play Oregon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be there just for Derek. I'm going to try my hardest to make the Indiana game. If Indiana shocks Michigan, I'm going to record myself running on the field just for you, Derek.
Look, stop it. Antonio Randall L is not, and you can stop that.
I will run on the field and record a video for Derek.
Oh, man. That's going to be fun. Are you going to go shirtless? Is that a possibility?
No. But
not yet.
I think Indiana's going to upset one team. I don't know who it is. It's going to be one team they're going to beat that they're not supposed
to. Well, you saying they're going to be their only win in the conference?
Is it against Michigan? Holy crap, man.
No, that one, whoever that team they upset, is that going to be their only win?
It's possible. I mean, Purdue's picked to be dead last, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen there, but the Big Ten, I think, I don't know, Rudy. It's some good teams. I think obviously the top teams, Rutgers is looking to improve last year with Greg Schiano. Yeah. Brett Bielema is there at Illinois. They had a good year 2 years ago, a ton of injuries last year. So Illinois should also improve. Some really good quality teams. Minnesota's going to be in the mix as they have been the last several seasons. So a lot of good football. Big Ten football is fun, though. I've learned to love it. I'm still SEC at heart, but obviously living in Big Ten country, there's a lot going on here.
Gio, are you saying it's going to be similar to the Big 12, where teams are going to be knocking each other off? But you got that one team that stands head and shoulders like Utah and Ohio State, and then the other teams. I can't see Oregon really. I can't see Oregon struggling. I just see. I think they're head and shoulders above Ohio State and Oregon.
Really good coaches. I mean, you got Greg Schiano at Rutgers. You got Brett Bielema, as I said, over there at Illinois. You have some really good coaches. Obviously, Penn State's going to be there as well. I know Franklin has essentially – they can't beat no big teams. I mean, it's just like every year they lose and lose, but Penn State's always going to be in the mix. You got Iowa, really strong defense. They can't score, right? They got to kick field goals to win. Yeah. So I think it's going to be very similar to the Big 12. Maybe not as high scoring as the Big 12 because these teams can play defense, but it's still going to be fun.
So is Franklin on the hot seat if they don't go far this year?
That's a good question because he wins a lot of games, but he doesn't win the game. Yeah. And at what point is Penn State going to say, what are we doing here? Because Franklin – I don't know what his record is in big games, Rudy, but it's pretty terrible. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's bad, Derek.
He's like South Dakota Prescott come January.
I'm going to bring this up before I bring up the last point here, and this is Oregon's schedule. This is kind of why they're going to be there kind of at the end, is the fact that, I mean, it's really nothing to write home about, man. They've only got 2 games. Look at that. They've got 2 games against ranked opponents.
Hey, watch out for that Maryland game. Mike Locksley over there coaching. He's got those boys playing. I know 2 of his brothers in the NFL now, but it's in Oregon.
Though. Rudy, but when you have a schedule like that, the teams can take their foot off the gas pedal. When you go look at your schedule and you think you've got an easier schedule, and then you take your foot off the gas pedal, and that's where your upsets happen.
Exactly, and that's what's kind of scary about the Oregon, schedule. It's like,
and
they have names on there, but it's not something like the motivation factor. Are they going to be motivated week in and week out, knowing they're not playing a ranked opponent? Or
Oregon State, Rudy. That's a rivalry game there.
Oregon State definitely, yeah. Or Oregon State definitely. I mean that's going to be a big one there. But you mentioned Maryland, but again, Maryland's traveling to Oregon. That's always a factor for me. And
Wisconsin,
just,
November 16th is going to be probably a cold one.
This is what I look at here. If the committee looks at Oregon, please take this schedule into consideration, because to me, if they only have the 2 losses, which are Ohio State and Michigan, say they lose to Michigan, and those are their only 2 losses, it needs to just be like, you know what? Those are the only 2 biggest games that they had. It doesn't really mean anything for us. Now, it's how they lost. If they get blown out by Ohio State and by Michigan, then you know what? I don't even have them as a top 7-8 team going into the college football playoffs, because the schedule shows it, man. I mean, in order for you to have a top contending, ranking going into college football, for me, it's Georgia's schedule, where it's brutal. It's some of these other teams that have a brutal schedule, and if they come out there with two losses or something, you know what? Those 2 losses happen. If Georgia's only losses were to Bama and Texas, you know what? It doesn't matter to me, because those are 2 big time losses. The rest of their schedule proved that they beat great competition. And that's where I'm thinking the Oregon schedule did them no favors in the Big Ten. That's why I have them as a top team, but I have them as a top team because of their schedule, because it's such a cupcake schedule for me.
Oh, boy. Not because of the depth of their team, huh?
The depth's there, but, I mean, if you've got that much depth there, you should probably have scheduled some better games. I think so.
Yeah.
Especially some non-conference games.
Well, I don't know if their non-conference isn't what they're playing. Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho, Boise State. I mean, it's like what
They
what
do
are you doing
keep
there?
the Pac-12 teams, right? They're still playing Washington, Oregon State, and UCLA.
Don't ever discount Boise State.
No discounting them, but it's the fact that instead of Boise State, give me another ranked opponent. You've only got 2 ranked opponents, which, to be honest, if Michigan does struggle with that November 2nd game, they're not going to be ranked number 9. They're going to be ranked way lower.
Rudy, and these schedules are made way in advance, right? So I'm trying to kind of figure it out. They didn't even know we were going to 12 teams. So why would you schedule such basically have a weak schedule like that? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's the conference, if I believe. Don't know how they got. They're playing. Purdue's got to play somebody. So, yeah, some of their games is just kind of eye popping. But look, if they go undefeated, they got those 2 big wins at Ohio State, Michigan. They'll be right in the playoff chase, and they're going to potentially get a home playoff game. Going to Oregon with that crowd, it's going to be tough. So you will have some teams obviously going. It's going to be fun. 12-team playoffs. We could see Kansas go to Georgia, right? I mean, Derek, it's going to be phenomenal environments. The postseason is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be like baseball postseason or even hockey at some points, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So we could lose 3. We could lose 3 high-profile coaches this coming year. Dion, possibly Lincoln Riley. What, Rudy? And possibly Mr. Franklin.
Franklin and Riley 1-2, yeah. I think Dion still gets another year. They have a horrible record,
but Dion's leaving after this year.
Yeah, when Shadora's gone, he's gone. He's not going to stick around. Does he jump to the NFL? That's the other question. The $1 million question is, does an NFL team take Dion as a defensive coordinator or something? That's kind of the other. But that's something for the end of the year talk here. You know what? We covered some Big 12. We covered some Big 10. Give me real quick, guys, for your Big 10 college football playoff. What teams do you got going in from the Big 10? We'll start with Gio because he's in Big 10 country.
The Indiana Hoosiers. No, I'm just kidding. I can't.
I was going to say stop.
I can't go that far. It would be amazing if they actually did, but not yet for first-year coach Kurt Signetti. But I'm going with Ohio State and Oregon. The top 2 teams to make the playoffs. And then the third team, I'm going with Penn State, simply because of their schedule and what they have coming back. And out of respect, I'm gonna put Michigan there, Derek. But honestly, it's 50-50. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even make the playoffs. But for certain, those three teams, Michigan will be my kind of odd team potentially.
Boy, I can only pick two right now because I have to do my due diligence on the ACC first. You guys talking about 6 or 7 teams just from the ACC. There's only 12 teams. So right now I'm looking at Ohio State. I can only look at Ohio State and Oregon as certainties right now. And Penn State is on the bubble to me. So I'll just say Ohio State and Oregon, or Oregon, Ohio State.
Yeah, that's to me the guarantee is Oregon and Ohio State. Oregon mainly because of their schedule. That's what I got. I'll give them a third team. I'll give them Penn State. I'm still kind of leery about Penn State, but I'll give them that third team. If you're going to get a fourth team from the Big Ten in, man, I would say Michigan. I would say Michigan would be my pick there. But I will say this: if there's a team to squeak in at number 11, it might just be the Iowa Hawkeyes. It could very well be the Iowa Hawkeyes. For whatever reason, they're always there, like Gio says. He always says it. They're always there.
They can play defense, and they're going to be physical offensively. I don't know what's going on over there, why they just can't seem to get a passing game or some sort of elite quarterback. I know they got money in Iowa, but you got to pay somebody. But I will be there as well. Tough defense. If any team from the bottom, Rudy, any team you see surprising the hell out of anybody from towards the end of that conference, you think?
Not UCLA.
No,
I said, please don't say UCLA.
No, I'm not saying UCLA. I will say this. If there is a team that can make noise and a lot of noise, it's going to be Maryland. Maryland's schedule it's not bad. I mean, UConn, Michigan State, Virginia, Villanova, Indiana, Northwestern to start. I mean, could they get off to a 6-0 start? It's possible against those teams. Then you go to USC. I mean, actually, you're playing USC in Maryland, so that could be another win, and that would be against a ranked team as of right now. Then they got Minnesota until they hit Oregon. So Maryland could be a very sneaky team that a lot of people don't talk about, that because based off of their schedule, they could be making some noise toward the end of the year.
Another one, Matt Rule at Nebraska. Listen, where he's been in college, he's been successful. That's a program that's itching to come back to Robinson. I could definitely see Nebraska making a run there. Their defense was very good last year, just offensively. Wisconsin, Rutgers, Washington. I like Maryland, Rudy. I forgot that quarterback situation, but the Big Ten is going to be fun. And
I love Derek right now, man. Derek's like,
I'll throw Minnesota's hat there with PJ Fleck. Besides last season, Minnesota's actually been a pretty good program. So there's so many good teams there. It's just they're all going to beat each other up. So
hey Rudy, who they bringing back from Nebraska? Like Mike Rozier, Tommy Frazier. I mean, teams are going to be knocking each other off. So, on the serious side, I can't argue that but I can say this quickly. Maryland has been getting better over the last few years. So, if there was one team that would be the surprise team, I could even see them taking Penn State's place, possibly kind of flip-flopping with them. So, if I was going to pick a third surprise team, I'm with you on that, Gio. It probably would be Maryland.
Yeah, because I don't know. Is it me, Gio? Before we go, is it me? Penn State seems to kind of let their foot off the gas at the end of the year all the
second half of the season. Yeah.
And that's where Maryland comes in. They play Maryland the last game of the year. So if it's typical Penn State, Maryland could go in to Penn State and beat them. And if Penn State's ranked pretty high, that's a massive win.
Two teams, Rudy, that always fall apart at the end. Penn State and Notre Dame, man. I don't understand it. It just continues to
Penn
happen.
State, I mean, their defense, they bring in Tom Allen, former head coach of Indiana, and I run the defensive show as the coach or the DC went to Duke, Rudy, I believe.
Yeah, I did.
So, Penn State just seems...
Stop it. I don't need that kind of...
Minnesota. Wait, he's talking about football, Rudy?
Well, that's what he's saying. Football.
I won't be surprised, Rudy, if Minnesota beats the Tar Heels on opening night. You don't think it can happen?
Oh, I don't expect them to win any games. I don't care. I mean, fire Mac Brown. I don't care. Doesn't bother me.
Rudy, show some respect, Rudy, to your coach.
Hey,
you have the hat on, Rudy.
At least I can accept that North Carolina football is terrible. I don't go jumping onto other teams and picking, Georgia as my football team.
Rudy, I picked Georgia in 2000, a long time ago. So you can talk to my friends, Rudy, if you want. Ever since I've known Gio, Georgia, and ever since you've known me, Georgia Bulldogs. So
I know. You're a chameleon. You take,
Rudy, get that man some credit. He has to pick Georgia because if you look at it, you put Indiana and Purdue together, they still couldn't beat any teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You hear that, Gio? They could play with 22 and still. They could play with 44 and still lose.
Hey, look. All I'm saying is Indiana's going to surprise. I know we got a lot of jokes with Indiana, but they're going to surprise some folks.
We'll see. We're gonna get a lot more college football preview coverage. We're gonna preview again tomorrow. Preview the ACC, where Tim said there's 6 or 7 teams in the ACC.
Tim, what conference you looking at? Because that is not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at.
He's trying to spell SEC. He's saying ACC. No, it's not. There's really, honestly, I'll give you a preview of the ACC. It's Florida State and
everybody else.
Clemson. They are ranked 14th
by Clemson,
for what
man.
It's worth. They're playing Georgia that kickoff classic, which is gonna be an interesting game. I give Clemson a shot because you got the players, but Debo or the coach won't do NIL. He doesn't believe
That's what I'm saying.
in the transfer portal, which is weird.
Clemson, Shaq has a better chance of making 10 free throws in a row than Clemson does having a really good season.
Rudy, my goodness. Now, come on. That's not fair.
Come on,
Rudy. That's never 5
happened. In a row. Give him 5 in a row.
Okay. All right. That's better. Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what? We'll save the ACC talk for tomorrow because we're going to talk about some ACC football. We'll preview that, plus the rest of the conferences. And at the end of the show tomorrow, we're going to give you our final 12. What 12 teams do we think are going to make it into the college football playoffs? Gazzato's in here, Gio. You've been a Bulldog fan since 1989. I didn't realize you were born. I thought you were born like in 95.
35 years.
Man. Dang.
I was born 1990. Gazzato's one of my close friends, and ever since he's known me.
You were born in 1990. How have you been a fan since 89?
He was in the womb already.
He's basically telling you that he's been a fan of Georgia all my life. Listen, I was part of Mark Richt days, and I was part of when we couldn't beat Alabama. They finally got over the hump, and I know we beat TCU for what it's worth. We also beat Alabama, so hey, man. And we also beat Florida State. Thank you.
Were you a Herschel? Are you a Herschel and Vince Dooley fan or what?
Of course, a fan. Obviously, I didn't watch them, because I wasn't even live.
You didn't watch it,
but
you read a lot about them, though, so you're loyal to that team.
Yeah, Herschel's a very interesting character. I'll leave it at that.
Very. Herschel Walker, remember as one of the better running backs in his day, but more so remembered for bringing the Dallas Cowboys glory. That's pretty much what Herschel Walker is going to be remembered for when it's all said and done. So, nonetheless, we're going to cover ACC football tomorrow. We'll preview that. We'll preview the rest of the conferences. Again, we've all got ideas on that 12th team, and that 12th team may shock some of you guys out there. We're gonna let them all out tomorrow. We're going to give you our top 12 tomorrow. What teams are going to go into the college football playoffs? So, it's Friday, guys. Tomorrow. Oh, can't believe we made it. I got a busy weekend this weekend and next weekend. So what's up, bud?
Can I say this before we go off? On a serious note, I told you I talked to John Robertson today,
Yes,
I
you did.
haven't heard from Rob, but we keep it moving. I haven't heard from Rob Parker, but Ariana Roberson is over in Hungary right now playing with Team USA. So I talked to her dad today, and this for Tim Gonzalez and everybody else out there. I believe we're going to be able to get Ariana hopefully within the next week, even maybe before she returns back to the United States. So I think that'll be big for the show.
And Gio's got to wear a Duke sweater when she comes on.
Let's go Team USA.
Yeah. Just going to Duke, Gio. Yeah, at least got to support Duke. I'm not putting on anything Duke. I'm going to wear a Carolina hat. I don't know if I'll piss her off, but I hope not. I'll comb my hair that day. I won't wear a Carolina hat. I'll be nice. But yeah, we are looking to get Ariana Robertson in here as well. We've also got a couple other people that we're lining up. So just all you got to do is be a subscriber. Go to YouTube, search at Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button. Again, we're giving away an Amazon gift card here pretty soon. Get ready for that. Also, other giveaways as well. The only way for you to win is to be a subscriber. We had over 1,200 people on the stream tonight. Appreciate everybody joining us. Can't thank you guys enough for the support that you all show us here at Sweep the League. Also, we want to get that YouTube subscribers up. We're at 233, I think, plus right now. So keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Appreciate everybody. Tomorrow, more college football coverage, and it's a weekend. College football starts for Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. For Coach Gio, who I'm hoping I get my text message with tomorrow's pick so I can play FanDuel with Gio and win, $10,000. This is Rudy Campos Jr.
I haven't won 10,000 yet, Rudy.
When you add them all up, you have. So don't lie about that. Yeah. Exactly. IRS, do not listen to this show.
I'm still paying I'm paying my taxes every year. I make sure I put that in there, and they do what they have to do. So I'm paying my taxes.
There you go. So you're honest Abe. We'll tell you that much, man. But for Coach Gio, for Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr. Till we sweep the league again tomorrow. We'll see you later, knuckleheads.
Everybody have a good night.
Enjoying Sweep the League TV? Don't keep it to yourself. Share with friends and let them join the fun.
You are watching my favorite sports show online, Sweep the League TV with Rudy and Derek Gervin. Wait, I mean the UTSA Hall of Fame Derek Gervin. Make sure to support this amazing show and subscribe to their channel.
Thanks for watching Sweep the League TV. Subscribe, post your comments below, and have fun.
My name is Ronda Rousey.
That was incredible.
Nobody asked me to, but I wrote a graphic novel. Expecting the Unexpected is about two rival assassins end up unexpectedly pregnant and discover that giving life is harder than taking it. We're going to be able to offer you things you can't get anywhere else. Hardcover books, pre-signed editions, get drawn in by Mike Diodato. You can be an assassin, gets their ass kicked by me. Lucky you. Sign up at our pre-launch page now.
Hey there, sports fans. I'm Ashley, your go-to girl for all things sports here on Sweep the League. Welcome to our daily news reports where we'll be covering the latest updates from the NFL, NBA, WNBA, college sports, and more. We're thrilled to be a part of the rapidly growing Sweep the League network, bringing you fast and fresh news updates every day. Make sure to subscribe to Sweep the League TV on YouTube for even more in-depth analysis and discussions with our amazing team Monday through Friday. Huge thank you to our incredible sponsors in San Antonio for their support. We couldn't do it without you. So let's get started. I'm Ashley, and I'll be sweeping the league for you every day. Stay tuned for the latest sports news and updates.
Still alive. This is behind the scenes stuff, guys. Behind the scenes stuff. Everybody's gone. Everybody went bye-bye. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Still kind of live here, waiting for it to go off. So